Luca Magnotta, a Canadian killer and former adult film actor. In 2012, he murdered and dismembered a man in his apartment, later disposing of the remains in a suitcase left outside a building. At first, investigators struggled to identify the killer. Inside the bloodstained suitcase, detectives discovered a small but crucial item, a store receipt. Tracing the receipt back, they found surveillance footage from the shop, which clearly showed Magnotta making the purchase. This evidence, combined with his online activities and later DNA confirmation, exposed him completely. Bobby Joe Long, who had murdered more than 10 women. Instead of killing one of his victims, he let her live, and that woman gave the police a full description of him, the biggest clue being his flashy red Dodge Magnum car. Investigators traced every red car in the area, and when they found Bobby's, the fingerprints and DNA matched perfectly. In the 1970s, Houston was haunted by a brutal killer named Dean Corll, also known as the Candyman. He had murdered around 28 young boys. One night, he tried to threaten his accomplice, Elmer Wayne Henley, at gunpoint. Instead, Henley turned the gun on him and shot him dead. When police searched Corll's house, they uncovered a horrifying mass of bodies. Between 1989 and 1990, Elian Wuornos killed 7 people in Florida. She would ask men for help or sometimes offer sex, and when they came close, she shot them with a gun. Afterward, she took their cars and money. For months, she kept fooling the police. But one day, Eileen and her girlfriend Tyria Moore crashed a victim's car near a highway. Witnesses saw both of them running away. When the police checked the car, they found fingerprints that led directly to Eileen. Tyria then made a deal with the police and, through recorded phone calls, convinced Eileen to confess. Dennis Rader, known to the world as the BTK killer, bind, torture, killed, managed to evade police for nearly 30 years while hiding behind a normal family life. But his biggest mistake came when he asked investigators if they could trace him through a floppy disk. The police lied and said, no, and overconfidently Rader sent one. Inside the disk's metadata, detectives found the name, Dennis Christ Lutheran Church, which quickly led them to him. DNA tests confirmed his murders, and in 2005 he was arrested. NASA lost $125 million. The year was 1999 when NASA launched the Mars Climate Orbiter, a 125 million spacecraft built to study the Martian atmosphere. But one tiny mistake destroyed the entire mission. One team used the metric system meters, newtons, while another used the imperial system feet, pounds. This unit mismatch sent the orbiter off course, causing it to crash into Mars. A simple conversion error turned 125 million into nothing. Not enough lifeboats. 1912, there was a ship called Titanic. Everyone believed it would never sink. Because of this overconfidence, very few lifeboats were placed on board. 4 days later, Titanic hit a massive iceberg, and the entire ship sank. Over 1,500 people died because there were not enough lifeboats available. Operation Barbarossa. The year was 1941 when Adolf Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history. Nearly 3 million German soldiers crossed directly into the Soviet Union and began their attack. With complete confidence, the German soldiers believed they would defeat the Soviets before winter arrived. In the beginning, they held a significant advantage and showed no signs of slowing down. By October, temperatures had dropped to -40 degrees Celsius, causing tanks to freeze and weapons to stop working. Thousands of soldiers suffered from frostbite. Meanwhile, the Soviets, fully prepared for the cold, launched a counterattack that gave them the advantage. As a result, the German soldiers were forced to retreat and ultimately lost the war. Rejecting Netflix, Blockbuster was once the biggest company for renting movies, and Netflix at that time was just a small company that delivered DVDs. Netflix went to Blockbuster with an idea, saying that if they worked together, they could build a huge business in the future. But Blockbuster didn't take the offer seriously and thought Netflix could never be their competition. As time passed, technology changed. People started watching movies online, and Netflix grew very fast with streaming. Today, Netflix is one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world, while Blockbuster has only one store left, rejecting J.K. Rowling. When J.K. Rowling first wrote Harry Potter, she sent the book to many publishers. Almost all of them rejected it, saying the story was too long, too strange, or not something kids would enjoy. Finally, a small publishing house agreed to take a chance, and the book became a worldwide phenomenon.